quick example, Netflix. Are you familiar with the dystopian Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Okay, season 1, episode 1. Do you know season 1, episode 1? Everyone who watches Black Mirror typically knows this episode.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember what it is, but...
Forgive my language, but they call it the pig fucker episode.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Once you've seen the episode, you will then know this episode. Well, when Netflix adopted it, I got pulled into a room. There's like a VP, a product designer, a VP, and they said, hey, we're about to release our own version of Black Mirror, season 3, I think, at that time. We need episode 1, season 1 to not be the first thing people see. So let's just reverse the season order. That required me, I had like 20 engineers I had to gather together to be able to have this happen. And that's just the problem of big companies, is that eventually every little thing has to become its own team. And so even small, there's no such thing as a small feature.
Reversing the order of the drop down that selects the seasons is a meeting with a bunch of VPs and engineers. That's really interesting. There's got to be a way to accelerate that. The natural scaling of a company and the bureaucracy that grows, yes, slows that down. But just having seen Elon work a lot, his teams are able to like still keep it very fast, even as the company grows. There's got to be a process to doing that, especially for the pig fucker episode. Like, I don't know where that's in the priority list, but like for important things like that, you should be able to do that quickly. I don't know. Can you speak to like, how would you do that?
Well, I can tell first how it was done. Remember, so at a place like Netflix, there would be, I think that at that point it's called a product called Dexter. I can't remember. There's our actual like movie metadata warehouse that's going to be highly integrated with Hollywood. That's going to be, where that side is able to manage all that. So I'm like, hey, you need the ability to mark things that need to be reversed, because we're going to run into this a bunch. And we did. We ran into quite a few topical shows that all need to be reversed and all that. And so it's like, we need to be able to reverse episode numbers, season numbers. We need to be able to hide season or episode numbers. Like in the case of the Chelsea Handler show, it was like a daily show. So it's like, you don't need episode numbers. You just need the latest one. And so like, there's this whole problem that exists. And so it's like, okay, you need to work on that for your UI over there. Then you need to be able to store that data. Then we need to be able to go to the people that can actually get the video data out of that and provide it to our service layer. I need to go talk to them and convince them they need to be able to give me the new methods and everything to do that. Then I need to be able to go write the methods to get it down. And then I need to go to the UI and make that accessible. Now I need to go to website people. I need to go to mobile people. I need to go to the TV people. And so it's like, you can see this thing like snowballing. And for us, the big thing that Netflix did that was so well is after I met with these people that were high level, I was the captain. I'm the captain now. Yeah. So I went to all these teams and said, "Hey, manager, I need an engineer. We need to get this done within the next couple of months because we got Black Mirror coming out." Yeah. So she would go, "Okay, here you go. The map team. I need someone to help me with being able to get data out of the Lolamo for this." And so it's like, "All right, you're working with this engineer." I'd go to the VMS team. Okay, I need this engineer. I'd go to the billboard team. I need this engineer. I'd go to all these little places to get all these little pieces of data. And then I was the captain. So I was like, you're working on this. You're doing this. You're doing this. You're doing this. I'm doing this. Let's go. Right. And so it's like that worked. And we were able to go pretty fast for a big company. And the fact that it required like 20 engineers to do such a simple task, we were able to do it in like, gosh, I'd say about like 3 weeks worth of effort. But that was still, I thought that was amazing comparatively to how many people move.
Well, because you have the freedom of the agency to do it. You said the captain of the ship. That's really powerful. For big companies, that's a risk because you can fuck it up. You might not see the bigger context legally or any sort of the bigger context of the impact on the industry or all the contracts that are made, all that. So it's a risk. It's a risk, but it's a risk you have to keep taking. And then when you fuck up, you fix and then maybe pay the cost legally for that, whatever. But the long term, that risk pays off because you're going to keep creating a better and better product, evolving where the industry is going, constantly innovating ahead of where the industry is going, and so on. Yeah.
And not only that, I think one thing that is just so important is that, yes, the product will get better, but the people that you hire and the people that you keep around are better. Because they're the ones that show maturity. They're the ones that can just, you give them something and they can rally the troops and make something happen. Like that's a very great group of people to hire. And so you also naturally select out great engineers that aren't just simply good at coding. They're good at coding and they're good at explaining and they're good at convincing and they're good, like you have to create a very lean audience that can move fast.
And I think for great engineers, having to wait for like, okay, let's schedule a meeting for next Wednesday with the VPs, and that destroys their soul. And they either don't want to contribute anymore, or they leave the companies, or they just kind of tune out and take the golden handcuffs and just, buy a nice house and focus on family.
And I feel like I would die under that. So, like, honestly, like that is my death sentence, is where it's just that there's no reason to try. There's no reason to do anything. I'm just going to go in there, like, effectively zombie through my day and call it. Like, I don't want to live like that. I want to feel like I'm trying to do something.
I should also mention on top of that, so you've brilliantly laid out how incredible the challenge that Netflix has to solve. On top of that, with YouTube, the metadata thing, because users are able to upload video, and there's an API where they can upload automatically and change all this kind of stuff automatically. Every one of those things is an attack vector, as we mentioned. That's something they have to consider seriously on the engineering side, and on the sort of the legal side, they can get into trouble in all kinds of ways. So they have to consider all of that. So it's just fascinating.
The legal side is obvious, but it's not really, like, I would never have initially thought someone would say upload images that you're not allowed to own or have, but that guarantee you that happens. Then you have the whole kid side, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about when you mark something as kid friendly, how many times have they snuck porn into a Taylor Swift video or whatever it was? That was like a few years back. There was that whole Taylor Swift or whatever. I forget what it was. I thought it was Taylor Swift, but there'd be these mock videos that come up, and then boom. It's like, that is such an awful problem. And I'm so happy that is not a problem I have to try to figure out.
Yep. Okay. So yes, YouTube and Twitch and Netflix are doing an incredible job.